Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the next episode of the Ramblin Rebels podcast. Today we have head football coach of the Riverside Academy Rebels, Coach Lee Roussel. How you doing, Coach?
I'm good. Trying to figure this out. This new to me, this Discord, but I appreciate y'all help, and I'm excited to be on.
Awesome,
Hey,
awesome. We're happy to have you for sure.
yeah, it
Last
was a
year.
big old difficult thing
Oh
to
yeah.
get you on here, Coach.
Uh,
Yeah, and then I got the computer that I was supposed to bring home that I downloaded it, but I'm learning. So,
that's all
but I
right.
appreciate y'all.
Yep.
It's all good.
So last year we had you on pretty early as well. What's the beginning of the football season looking like? We just came out of a game at home, and the year before. I mean the game before was pretty
Central
good.
Cat.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So what's going on so far?
Yeah, I think we're looking at a similar start to the season as last year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, very similar if you're looking at scores. We started off with St. Thomas Aquinas on the road, which we did last year, and put 55 points on the board. And started off a little slow on defense, but ended up getting it together in the second half and winning that game 55-18 against a much better team than they were last year. New coaching staff, they got some new kids out. But I thought that was a quality win week one against a good program. But same last year, we played that same team and got a big win week one. Week two, who we knew was one of our tougher opponents in Newman, who's going to have a chance to make a run in their division. A really, really good high school quarterback. They were big, and that's where talking to our players that that's the next step in our program is now winning a game that maybe people don't pick you to win. We to the point now where we all winning the ones we're supposed to win, which is good, and
Mm-hmm.
that's what we're supposed to do. But taking that next step in our program is winning a game like that. So, we had them at home. It's our lone loss this year. We didn't play well. And a lot of it was execution, and then you add on top of the poor execution penalties, and we just 200 yards of penalties and turn the ball over. It's tough to beat any team like that, much less a really good football team. And
Right.
then we got back on the winning track the following week, week three at home against Central Catholic, who, I told our players that was the number two seed in our playoffs a year ago. So beating them 43-0 was a quality win, which I knew we were ready that week coming off a loss. We had some tough practices early in the week where the coaching staff was kind of on their players about making Monday through Wednesday better, so Fridays are easier. And then last week on the road against Homer Christian, to be 3-1, and we got wins in the scrimmage and jamboree, which those don't count win loss record, but we played well, and now heading into homecoming week against Country Day, which is always a good game, Riverside versus Country Day, and
Mm-hmm.
a well coached team, a team that's going to prepare and obviously know things we do because these two teams play every year. We started off slow against them last year and ended up getting a win on the road, but so far 3-1. I'm happy with it, but I think you always want more.
Yeah, of course. And
Very-
that Newman game, I we were there, and unfortunately we couldn't make it to the last one. But a good topic would be, what caused so much yellow all over the field? Like it felt like every couple minutes there was a flag.
Yeah, and look, I know with referees, the human element of the game, yeah, they
Mm-hmm.
make mistakes, and just like I make bad calls and players they make bad plays, right? It happens,
Mm-hmm.
So we're not gonna sit back here and look back and blame, but
Right. Yeah.
I do think there were some calls that aren't necessarily in our favor, and
Mm-hmm.
maybe that they missed, but and which led to I kind of started questioning a couple calls, and it just kind of snowballed
Mm-hmm. Right.
and go well. But the ones that did happen, we still got to clean up. We're doing some things now, trying to make penalties an emphasis. So like we do penalty running now, and for every 5 yard penalty is some type of discipline running,
Mm-hmm.
just to create that, put that in the back of your mind. Not that penalties going to happen. We talk about when the ball snap, holdings and pass interferences.
Mm-hmm.
Those things happen in a play, right? But it's the penalties before and after plays that we got to clean up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can't have the false starts and you can't have the personal fouls because those are things that we control as players.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes within a play, your hands get outside, you end up holding somebody. Those happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
We still gonna coach you and we're gonna discipline you, but the ones we can control are the ones that really hurt us. Those 15-yard after the because we can't walk away, right? And the guy that always does the second thing and retaliates, that's the one that gets caught.
Mm-hmm.
So it's cleaning those things up, and that falls on me, right? I got to get that stuff better, and it has since that game, and
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna continue to do that.
Right. So, being on the sideline and seeing all of these things, like what would you say is your favorite part of being, you know, the coach? Like do you like whenever like it switches back and forth and you get to talk to the players right after they get off the field, or do you like hyping them up to get them onto the field? Like what's your kind of go-to?
Yeah, man, it's a good question, right? It's like I can go a bunch of different directions with an answer on that question. Because if you're just talking about Friday nights, like what other profession do you get the thrill of competition
Right.
and right like when we run out that tunnel and the people are lined up and the band's playing and we come out and make and what other field of work do you get that feeling like a
Yeah.
Friday night or a Saturday of college football and so that's very rewarding. But if we talking like the big picture, like I think some of the most rewarding things. Obviously, we as coaches we want to win, right? Like wins and losses are a big deal. But just a couple of things is just this week there was Miss Jenna's class did an eighth grade project, and I told the players about this. They wrote letters to somebody within the school. It could be another student, could be a senior, could be a coach, could be an administrator, a teacher,
Mm-hmm.
and somebody that has impacted you uh, with leadership, right? And man, I had a mailbox with a handful of letters from eighth grade kids, and I'm sitting back at my desk reading those things, and you know, and reading the things they say about their coach.
Mm-hmm.
That's the most rewarding. That they do get it, because some days you're on their butts about this and that, and it's hard days, and
Mm-hmm.
but when they look back and they really do respect and appreciate it, the discipline and the hard work, or look back, Noah graduates in 5 years, he comes back to see his position coach. And when guys do that, that's some of the most rewarding things about the coaching profession. It really is. And I think your teachers would probably say the same thing.
Right, right. And so, have you had many people like alumni come back and like meet with you?
Yeah. So, I mean, Noah, I'll tell you, he sees guys from Rummel.
Yeah.
My day, they come to Riverside practices quite often. And some guys I coached at Nichols that make it out every now and then to practice just to come stop in and say hello. I mean, just Coach Pierce, right? I
Mm-hmm.
coached Coach Pierce. He was 13 years old at Rummel, and he kind of came to Nichols with me, and now he's here at Riverside. And relationships you build like that, who would have ever thought, here's this 13-year-old freshman, and now we're working together and we're
Right.
friends, right? So things like that are very rewarding. But yeah, some of the players just last year. Cade Middleton stays in touch, and he's playing college football right now. He was at a game, and I've seen Terrell and Alex and Charles Floyd was at a JV game just last week. He came stop in. But yeah, a lot of that senior class just last year. It was a small class. It was 9 of them, but I don't know that one of them hadn't been back or checked in, and that's cool because I was hard on that class, right? Because everything was brand new, and you're trying to build your own culture and environment. So
Right.
yeah, that's a cool part of the job.
This is a very good answer.
Yeah. It was awesome seeing everybody come back. Like I'll be sitting on the benches sometimes and I see like Scott White just on the
Yep, Scott.
fences just watching the game.
I feel like Scott's
It's
been at
cool.
more of our games than maybe Nichols games, the team he plays for. So I've seen him at a few games. So yeah, that's another one that I've seen on the sidelines.
So what's something you're really looking forward to this Friday? Like I know this game's gonna be a really good one, and it's homecoming, and are you looking forward to seeing like offense, defense shine? Like, what are you looking forward to?
I actually enjoy. I enjoy teams we play who, like offense versus defense and game plan. You come in on Sundays, right? We come in as Sundays as coaches, and we watch every formation versus different things they do by first down, second down, third down, and you get on a board and you make a game plan. And I enjoy playing teams uh, who have a good coaching staff on the other side, like Country Day, who has a good defensive coordinator. And I enjoy that chess match, right, of
Yeah.
preparation, the Sunday all the way up until the game, and you know. They're going to do some things to stop certain things that we do, right? Because they know some of the things we do and some of the things we've been successful at. Uh, but I enjoy that. And then, I mean, anytime you play a good football team, you practice. In no other sport do you practice all week just to play one game, right? I tell them that all the time. And every other sport, in baseball, basketball, there's 3-4 games a week, and so you put all this preparation in for 3 hours, right? And then Sunday morning, you wake up, you do it all over again.
On to the
So
next.
yeah, so I think every Friday you feel it. Whether it doesn't really matter who you play, and I know there's a lot of things going on this week with homecoming, and we talked to the team about that this week. Like, don't, have fun, enjoy it, but understand on Friday night, all these festivities leading up is for the game, right? So let's make sure we go out and we win that game, because the dance is not as fun if you don't win the game.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So, you always talk about this year being better than last year. Why do you think that?
Um, and look, this is you as just
Hmm.
personally Noah Trepagnier, you personally know what to expect now, right? So it's easier for you to, what time meetings start, what to wear every day, what's going to trigger a response at practice if you don't do something a certain way, right? So I think that goes for the whole team, not just you. So I think when you guys know the expectations of the things that I expect from you, I can go out every day and spend more time coaching football, right? Like today was not a bad day at practice. There wasn't a whole lot of
No, not at all.
distraction and discipline. So, we got to spend our time, our 2 hours on football instead of me telling you to run off the field or why you got the wrong pants on, or you're right. Like, so some of those things were happening, not because of anything anybody did last year. You guys just didn't know what to expect from me, right? So now there's a little bit of an understanding, and hey, if I don't do this, this is probably gonna make somebody mad. Let me not do that. So that to me is why, we lost some good football players, right? But every year, I think that's going to continue to get better and better, right? Like I think when you guys are going, like think when the freshmen or seniors, well, all they're going to know is the way we do things, right? Not that any other way is bad or good. They just know what we expect, right? So that's why I feel that way, and I think that's
Right.
going to continue to go that way.
Would
I
you
got you.
consider your way of coaching like vastly different from other coaches' methods?
I'm sure. I think. Look, I think there's 1,000 ways to get it done. And to me, leadership or whatever, whoever you work for, whoever running a company, I think there's different ways to be successful. But the main thing is, can you get all the assistant coaches and all the players to believe in your way, right? Whether that be, some days I am a yeller and screamer, right? But I know there's coaches out there that can do it. Coach Dave Aranda at Baylor, who was the defensive coordinator at LSU, very, very more of a quiet demeanor. But at the end of the day, he demands their respect and they listen to him. He's a good foot. So I don't think it's got to be this way. As long as you can get your whole organization, a whole team, or whatever it is you're running to believe in your way, to me, that's what matters.
Agreed.
Right, and
Agreed.
that's seen throughout a lot of different things. Like I know a lot of people will say like many methods used by even Mr. Clemma is like really intense and like, but
Sure.
there's a reason there's a ton of trophies in that room, and you can't.
I go out to band practice and everybody's where they're supposed to be. And so
Right.
whatever he does, whatever his method is, it works, right? So whether he's different than I am or it works. Y'all are good. You win. Is disciplined, is organized, is structured. Yeah.
Right.
So what I could probably steal things from him, right? That are
Yeah.
that are good
He's
that work for me.
Yeah, he hears a
Right.
lot
He's
of
very
things
good.
from across
And,
across
no
the
doubt.
fences and stuff, and he likes to use a lot of the things that are said, like
Yeah. Yeah.
encouragement and things like that.
Yeah. He's good, and I see the respect that you guys have for him
Right,
and the discipline he's got within that group. So yeah, I think there's many different ways to be a good leader.
right.
Yeah, but going back to like the relationship with the band and the football team, during fall camp, we went into the band hall and we sang the fight song.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about why you did that?
Yeah, so I'll give you a story. I worked for a guy. You met him. No, he came speak to the team. Coach Jay Roth at
Oh yeah.
when I worked for him at Archbishop Rummel High School, and one of the things I admired about him was he had this way of getting everybody to believe in that school, right? And it was Raider Pride was the saying there, right? And I'm a graduate of Lutcher High School. Never really coached in the city in New Orleans in the Catholic League. And man, by the time I left, I spent 5 years there. But by the time I left there, and I was a Rummel Raider, like as if I went there and I could have stayed there forever. I believed in it, and that was something he did. He made the players know our fight song, and I knew the fight song. Didn't go there. I learned it, and that's something I said. To me, that was his best quality, like getting just leadership, getting everybody together and believing in one thing. And I said, if I ever had a chance to be a head coach, uh, that's something I'm taking from him. Like I worked for 4 or 5 different really good head coaches, but that was something I'm taking from him. So when I got here, I thought that was something that maybe I saw room for improvement. The band would play the fight song, and not your fault, but we would just sit down.
Yeah,
Nobody.
right.
They playing the fight song like they play it when we score. They playing it for us, right? For the you're gonna get up, we're gonna clap, we're gonna learn that fight song, and because on Friday nights, a Friday night without the band is a little more, kind of boring.
Yeah, we
You know,
were
you,
Flat.
really upset about
Just
that too.
like this Friday, I felt like
yeah,
I felt flat coming
it's
out. I
flat.
felt
It is.
flat.
You need people in the seat. All that stuff matters. It really does. And so I believe in that. I wanted to do that, and I wanted to show the band that it is. We are all in this together.
Oh yeah.
Friday nights are for all of us, and
Mhm.
so when that fight song played the first time in the pep rally, we had 60 football players standing up, and
Mhm.
we clapped, and it felt different,
Oh yeah.
and those things
100%.
those things that continue to get better,
Right. And you guys, it really does mean a lot to like the band and stuff, because even right when you all left, everybody was like, "Oh my gosh, this is a great step
Pretty
like
cool, yeah,
forward."
yeah,
Yeah.
it is a good step.
So
It is a very
we unfortunately couldn't have made it to the other one because we have a lot of people that suffer from like asthma and other respiratory issues. So he wanted to be really safe and not take us, but man, we were upset. Like all the seniors were so upset. We
It
really
was
wanted to go.
smoky. I mean, you
Yeah.
could most of the game. Uh, we got a couple with asthma too, and they had the pumps. And
Hmm.
uh, but I kind of told them if you grew up in the River Parish, it's kind of like playing football in the levee during bonfire season, right?
Yeah.
When the
Yep.
smoke's
Hey man.
rolling, so it's kind of what it felt like. So,
I heard
but
I
yeah,
heard you was like, it smells like the bonfires.
yeah,
It
yeah,
had me
playing
cracking
football,
up.
rolling down a levee. That's all it is. Like you're
Yeah.
back being a kid again. So, but yeah, we'll get y'all back this Friday night.
Oh yeah, I'm very
Y'all be ready to
excited.
go. Yeah.
All y'all got to come out, come support during the homecoming alumni game. Get the stands packed. Hopefully, we got a lot
Yeah.
of the band has a couple new things to show, new songs that we're working on. So, it's gonna be a great game. I'm very excited to see this Friday.
Agreed. So, Dedrick Lassie, we're gonna talk about him. He's one of the leading rushers in the state right now. I think he's like top 15 if I'm not mistaken. Can you talk about him a little bit and his
Yeah,
success?
I looked at everything today. He's over 700 yards in 4 games. You know, he had 2 games over 200 where he went over 200 yards, and then the other one's over right at 100 or over 100. So he's right over 700 yards. But look, I want to tell you, without a good offensive line, right? Like your running back he's an average player, right? So I know Dedrick would be the first one to tell you um, and give the credit up front, But since you asked me about Dedrick, I always like to give the credit me as a lineman myself to the lineman. But he has done a nice job. He's done a very good job of what he's done the best at is when the offensive line does get him to the second, third level, he's done a nice job making that last guy miss. And that's when you get your explosive plays and the big runs and your yardage goes up over 200 yards. So, you know, and that's got to be his game. He's a smaller back, so he's got to be elusive. He's got to be able to make people miss, and he's done that. And he's run the ball hard inside. It's not like all of his runs have come outside in space. Uh, he will stick his nose in there. And the thing with Dedrick is he's a very, very smart football player. Like he is easy to coach. He does understand what we're trying to accomplish, and he's not out there just running. Like backyard football. He understands landmarks and he understands what the offensive line is trying to accomplish, and I think that makes for a better football player. So. Yeah, I saw he's up there as one of the state leaders, but a lot of it is because of what we do up front, and I hope we continue to do that for him because I always think if we do a good job, I think we'll always have a rusher in the state's top guys, right? Like you had one last year, and I hope to always have that because that's something I believe in is running the football and toughness and winning a line of scrimmage. So I hope to always have a guy in that top 15 or 10.
Gotcha.
That's a very good philosophy. Do you see a lot like another person coming up that's gonna be able to take on the reins if maybe something were to go awry?
Yeah. Well, so we had, in the beginning of the year, we had Dedrick and we had Duke running the ball, Martrell Henry, to kind of have a big back and a guy who can do some things who's smaller and quicker. With him getting hurt, we've tried some different guys, but I think if you look all the way down the program, there's some really young ones that's special with the ball in their hand. Now, Dedrick and Duke have another year; they'll be seniors next year, but by then it might be time for one of those really young ones. They'll be freshmen, sophomores at that point to step in and kind of take the ball. But there's one of those young programs in our middle school program who I think's got a chance to be special. So yeah, I think we'll always have somebody who can run the football. If not, you got Kendrick Johnson who's been playing quarterback, mixing in at quarterback receiver. He's pretty good running the football too, just from the quarterback position.
Right. Well, that's always
Yeah,
great to
he's
hear.
he's
He's an
pretty
eight.
good.
Yeah, he's good. He's gonna be good. Yeah.
Isn't he ranked number 89 in the state on Max Preps or something like that?
You know what? Is that a thing? I didn't even know they
That is
had
a thing.
eighth grade rankings. I didn't know. So it's an
It's
eighth
not
grade
eighth
rank.
grade. It's all
Oh,
classes.
all classes.
All classes number
That's
89 in the state.
that's impressive.
That's pretty good then. Yeah. He's going to be. I mean, he's as good as I told him this. He's as good of an eighth grade player. The last 7 years I spent in college football. Before that, I spent 10 years or so in high school football. He's as good as of an eighth grader that I can remember. Besides, maybe like a guy like I was at Lutcher, Jarvis Landry was there. Like he played as an eighth grader. He was really good. But like he's just to get on the field on Friday nights as an eighth grader special, but much less make plays. He's out there, not just out there.
Yeah.
He was offensive player of the game for a week or two. So that's pretty impressive as an eighth grader.
Yep. All right. Well, that's a lot. That's a lot of good things we like to hear. Starting off the football season in a really good way. So, is there anything else you'd like to say?
Uh, just up for as far as football, just keep building on what we're doing. I think we still didn't play our best football. and being 3-1 and being able to say that is pretty good. I don't think we played our best football yet, and but I always tell them, people remember the teams in November and December. They don't remember the teams in September and October, right? So
Right.
3-1 right now is good, but can we get hot and play our best football and most disciplined football and execute in October and November, and win district championships and make a run in the playoffs? So if we can get that going at the right time, that's the goal. I know you can do it here. I know you can win at a high level.
Hmm.
We still working towards that and building our program, but I always tell them this: is we got a group of good people. We really do. We got good kids in our locker room. I know every day is not easy, and I'm on them, but we do. I think they want to win. I think they want to be good. It's just still teaching them, what it takes. So,
Right.
I'm excited. I'm excited, but right now, it's country day, and let's try to be 1-0 this week and get this win at home, and then keep on this winning streak, and then we'll figure the rest out later.
All right, that's a great, fantastic response. All right, we'll see y'all next time on the podcast.